So these verses are very relevant to what is happening right now, because I am seeing amongst our own youth and all of us, we feel a sense of despair, a sense of exasperation, a sense of frustration. So when we look at these verses, Allah Azza wa Jal says to the Muslims, وَلَا تَهِنُوا وَلَا تَحْزَنُوا. Don't feel weak and don't give up. وَأَنْتُمُ الْأَعْلَوْنَ. And you shall be victorious in kuntum mu'minin, if you have iman. Don't be weak, don't give up, don't despair. Your morale should be high, even after Uhud. Regardless of what happens externally, internally, your iman has to be optimistic. This is what Allah is saying. No matter what the situation is, your hearts must always have the best. And you should never give up. And you should never allow despair to overtake you. وَلَا تَهِنُوا وَلَا تَحْزَنُوا. And then Allah gives a statement of fact. وَأَنْتُمُ الْأَعْلَوْنَ. You shall be the upper hand. You shall be victorious, with one condition, إِن كُنتُم مُؤْمِنِينَ. Then Allah says, إِن يَمْسَسْكُمْ قَرْحٌ فَقَدْ مَسَّ الْقَوْمَ قَرْحٌ مِثْلُهُ. If you have had loss and setbacks, if you have had disasters, well then, the others have also had disasters. It's not as if, that they are not also, casualties are not there for the Quraysh. If you have had casualties, if you have setbacks, they too have setbacks. وَتِلْكَ الْأَيَّامُ نُدَاوِلُهَا بَيْنَ النَّاسِ. And these are the days we rotated amongst the people. Some days you will have the upper hand, other days they will have the upper hand. Allah is explicitly saying the victory in this dunya is independent of the victory of the akhirah. Allah is explicitly saying, if you lose a battle, don't worry, you will always win the long-term war. This is explicit in the Quran. وَأَنْتُمُ الْأَعْلَوْنَ. So I wanted to pause here and look at this conflict of Gaza and mention some of the positives that we see around the world. Now, this is a controversial topic because obviously I am not stating that, the loss is in vain. I'm not trying to justify the losses. 10,000 people have died, subhanAllah. So when I say this, it's not as if we're saying, oh, okay, it was worth that. La, we're not talking, there's no comparison. But I'm trying to say, yes, there is a setback. Yes, there is tragedy. But if you look at the other side, you look at what is happening, wallahi, there's so many positives happening here. There's so much positives that you can go on and on. So, of the positives, the first positive that we have here, is that, subhanAllah, we see the iman of the people of Gaza. We see the reality of what faith does to a believer. SubhanAllah, in our lives, we have never seen a group of people demonstrating the reality of sabr and tawakkul and yaqeen, demonstrating their trust in Allah. They're resigning their fate to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And even non-Muslims are amazed, shocked, impressed. People are converting to Islam. In our own masjid, you saw the shahada. I was in Detroit last week on Jumu'ah. We had not one, not two, 3 shahadas. They came and I gave shahada to 3 people in Detroit because, again, they're attending the protest, they're seeing what's happening, and the sight of fathers and mothers losing their children, the sight of a lady becoming a widow, and she says, Hasbunallahu wa ni'mal wakeel, the sight of a father losing 4 children, and he's smiling and saying, Inshallah, Allah will reunite me with them in the akhirah. That level of iman, that level of courage, of bravery, we have never seen it in our lifetimes. If that is not inspiring, then what is going to be inspiring? This is a positive that with iman, you can keep your sanity. With iman, you can keep your dignity. We see the fruits of iman in real life.